So what's up, everybody? This is going to be a theory that's already been talked about within the Black Clover community. I know Broku made a video about this, but it's just more about the possibility of angels having a grimoire, and I truly believe they're going to have like an angelic mana. I know I spoke about this in another video, but I think there's going to be another system of mana that focus mainly on divine beings. As well, I will talk about this connection with Saint Stage users like Noel and Yuno. So let's get into this Black Clover theory. First of all, if you like anime, manga reviews, discussion, spoilers, and theories, definitely hit the subscribe button. If you like the video, like, comment. I'm rebuilding the channel. I got hit with false copyright strikes. Liking, comment, and subscribing is highly appreciated. Helps out the channel. It helps people that used to follow the old one find this one. And if you're seeing this video and you're wondering why you're not subscribed to this channel, it's because of that reason. Regardless, we're going to continue. Look out for a Patreon if you want to support. So when the topic of divine beings comes up, we constantly have been teased multiple times by the Black Clover story that there is divinity. We've seen with the elves, and the elves did the Tree of Life. The Tree of Life does have connections to angelic beings or angels. In Judeo-mysticism, a lot of the spots or Pacific angels where the elves were at, and that was in the elf arc. An arc later, we have the Tree of Death, which is the polar opposite of the Tree of Life. The Tree of Life and the Tree of Death go hand in hand. If you see the Judeo-mysticism, the Tree of Life is on the top, the Tree of Death is on the bottom. That's why when you see the Tree of Cliff-Off, it looks kind of like a reverse pyramid. That's another hint that Tabata has been showing us that there's a possibility of divinity. The elves had like this golden aura, and if you see a lot of saints in Judeo-Christianity, a lot of them have a golden aura. Also, we've seen Saint Stage. This was a stage for a lot of people. It felt like an ass pull because we knew about Arcane Sage. It wasn't really explained too much, but we knew that certain members are classified as Arcane Sage because their magic doesn't fit the natural world's elements or laws. So you have people like Julius Chrono, Yami, and obviously Asta. And then Saint Sage was just shown up. But we've been hinted multiple times that Yuno had something to do with angelic or something to do with divinity because his spirit dive was always looking a little bit angelic. And because Yuno and Asta are basically polar opposites, even though they grew up with each other, Yuno's coming from royalty. From what we know, Asta's family is peasants. When Asta and Yuno were fighting against Zagrath, you saw them having polar opposites of their powers. Yuno had the spirit dive predominantly on his left side and it looked angelic. And then Asta, we all know that he was getting his powers from Libe, and he is a devil, and you saw his right side of his body looking demonic while he was in black mode. So it's clear that they've been polar opposites, and it's been teased that there's divinity in Black Clover. But one thing I wondered is when divinity and angels are eventually introduced in Black Clover, because it's just a matter of time, will they use grimoires or will they not have grimoires similar to what happened to the devils? And I think angelic beings will have grimoires. I think the reason why devils don't have grimoires is because most likely devils are beings that died. In terms of in the Black Clover world, devils were once living humans, but they died and they got sent to the underworld for whatever reason. The Black Clover judgment, depending if Tabata wants to deal with the Buddhism religion or if he wants to go the Christianity route. So far, we've been seeing a Judeo-Christianity influence of Black Clover, so I wouldn't be surprised if it has to do more with Judeo-Christianity versus Buddhism, but it's basically similar, except Buddhism gets reincarnated and they have like multiple realms. But basically, if you're a bad person in Buddhism, like a really bad person, you get sent into the underworld and then you become an Oni. This is more in Japan, but Japanese Buddhism and Judeo-Christianity is similar in terms of if somebody has been a bad person their whole entire life, they will go to the underworld. In certain texts, humans can become demons in Judeo-Christianity. More Japanese Buddhism, if somebody goes into the underworld, they become Onis, which is basically a demon. With that, devils don't seem to be alive in the same way as humans are, because the way they die, they don't die as their body leaves them, they just disintegrate. To me, that's the reason why devils don't have grimoires, because who they used to be as a person, when they die, the grimoire burned up and they can't take the grimoire with them to the underworld. For divinity, I do believe they're going to have grimoires because the fact that they never died. I think angelic beings have just been angelic versus devils, and yes, there's probably humans going to the angelic or divine realm, but they can never be angels. If they're angels, they might end up being like a low tier angel that doesn't have have a grimoire, because the angels that we're going to see in Black Clover most likely have different classes, like a warrior class, like a healing class, scholar class, etc. So when it comes to the warriors, healers, and possibly the scholars, they most likely have a grimoire. So they were just angels since the beginning. But if they're angels since the beginning, what type of grimoire would they have? Shout out to Broku. He said that there's a possibility of a 6-leaf grimoire, and I could definitely see that, because I don't think we're gonna have a 1-leaf clover grimoire, because a 1-leaf clover grimoire just represents really faith. In countries that speak English as the main language, the 2nd leaf represents hope. We haven't seen grimoires with a 1 or 2-leaf clover, so I don't think we're gonna see that moving forward. I think it's most likely going to be a 6-leaf clover grimoire, and my reason is because we already seen a 3-leaf clover grimoire, which means love. We already seen a 4-leaf clover grimoire, which means extra luck. A 5-leaf clover grimoire, which means money, which is funny because in some aspects of Christianity, money and greed for having money is associated with the devil. And then the 6-leaf clover grimoire represents good fortune and longevity. The 6-leaf clover is actually the most rarest. I think once angels are introduced into Black Clover, they will have a 6-leaf clover grimoire, and I think with that they will have angelic mana, which is going to be different than mana that we're accustomed to. It's going to be different than human mana. It's going to be different than devil mana, which we've seen that there is devil magic with Lord of Pacheco. When she became a devil, she started using devil water magic. So I do believe that when it comes to angels, they will have a mana that is associated with the 6-leaf clover grimoire, and it's going to be angelic spells and angelic attacks or angelic healing, which honestly could heal Asta's arm, but I'm gonna leave that for another video. Also, I think the people that are going to most likely bring the angelic beings around or attract these angelic beings, it's going to be the people that can do Saint Stage. I have a hunch that whoever has the Earth Spirit is the one that's going to be the most adept in the Spirit Dives and Saint Stage. I think that person is going to end up teaching Fogolion, Noel, and Yuno how to really master their Spirit Dive and Saint Stage. I think whoever that Earth Spirit is, when we get introduced to them, they're going to train those other people that have the spirits. And I think he's going to have a good connection to the divine realm or the divine beings because of him perfecting Saint Stage. Funny enough, the people that we've seen that has Spirit Dive and the possibility of reaching Saint Stage, because it looks like Fogolion hasn't reached it, all of them are royalty. And funny enough, when it comes to royalty, in ancient histories and civilizations, a lot of times royalty were considered divine and they've been chosen by divinity to rule over other people. That's what a lot of people in their kingdom just believe. This way of thinking was a good way to instill people to not actually rebel against the king and just accept that the king is the king because it's his God-given right and he's most likely part divinity. Also with queens as well. It's just funny that those people that have achieved Saint Stage or have the potential to reach Saint Stage are all royals. The person with the 4th spirit is most likely going to be a royal. I just really hope we get to see that person soon, and I'm pretty sure that's going to happen in the next arc. But divinity is going to happen in Black Clover. There's just too much hints throughout Black Clover about angels. It doesn't make sense that they won't show up. But yes, that's basically all I have to say about this. Hopefully it made y'all think about this topic once angels officially come to Black Clover. Hopefully you like this discussion / theory. When do you believe angels will be introduced in Black Clover? It's not if, it's a when at this point. Do you see angels having their own grimoires, or they're not going to have grimoires like devils in Black Clover? Do you think angels will have their own angelic mana and they're going to have their own angelic magic spells? Do you think that if an angel were to use water magic, it would be something similar to maybe possibly holy water? Like if you liked the video, comment, subscribe, and I'm out of here.